Welcome to the realm of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Enjoy listening. The alarms of Marana Prison wailed louder than they ever had before. Tyson Westbrook, a seasoned guard with years of service under his belt, found himself facing an unprecedented scene. In the center of the armory, a high-tech, highly secure facility, stood a peculiar cage. Its front panel was open, an apparent design flaw that made escape almost too easy. As Tyson's thoughts raced to decipher the purpose of such an unusual object, the doors slid open, and a woman entered. But she wasn't just any woman. This was an alien, a being of undeniable allure, with soft lavender skin, towering height, and flowing platinum hair. Her presence commanded attention, and Tyson couldn't help but feel both captivated and unnerved. The guards who escorted her into the room uttered a single, chilling warning: "Do not cross her. Do whatever she says. Stay out of trouble." Tyson's heart thumped loudly in his chest as he struggled to comprehend the situation. The alien woman stood poised and confident, her right hand seemingly concealed behind her back. Was she holding something dangerous? Was it a threat? Tyson's nervous glance revealed nothing when she moved slightly, her hand empty. His brief relief was shattered when she spoke. "If you want to live, you'll cooperate and do exactly as I say." Her voice was firm, almost commanding, yet strangely captivating. Tyson decided silence was the safest course of action and nodded meekly. But the woman was far from finished. Her tone sharpened as she made her first demand. "Water! Bring me water!" Though Tyson bristled at the imperious nature of her request, he complied. From within the cage's cold metal bars, she watched him as he retrieved a bottle, her piercing gaze unwavering. When she took the water, there was a brief moment of acknowledgement, a quiet nod that hinted at gratitude, but her eyes retained their hardened glare. As the room fell into an uneasy silence, the woman spoke again, her tone softer but filled with bitterness. "I shouldn't be here," she began. "You humans always make the same mistake. You fear what you don't understand." Tyson remained quiet, listening intently. Her voice carried a weight that made her words seem irrefutable. She moved closer to the bars, her fingers brushing against the cold metal. A faint shimmer of energy danced along her skin, though it caused her no harm. "My name is Lyra," she said. "I ended up here by accident. My ship collided with one of your orbital weapons. I underestimated how dangerous your planet's defenses have become." Lyra explained how her ship had been destroyed upon impact, scattering her crew and leaving her stranded. She had been captured and brought to Marana Prison, while her crew's fate remained unknown. Her gaze bore into Tyson's as she delivered a dire warning. "But you are the ones in danger," she said, her voice carrying a chilling certainty. "Not me." When Tyson's confused expression invited further explanation, Lyra continued, her voice edged with urgency. "A device from my ship's wreckage lies in the desert near here. If left unattended, it will destabilize your atmosphere. Your entire planet could face annihilation." Her words sent a shiver down Tyson's spine. He wanted to dismiss her claim as a bluff, but something in her tone, the unyielding conviction, made it impossible to ignore. Despite her cryptic warnings, trust didn't come easily. As the night wore on, Tyson wrestled with his doubts. Could he believe her? Could he risk not believing her? Lyra eventually divulged the location of the device, buried beneath the sands of a desolate wasteland not far from the prison. She described the area as heavily guarded by automated defenses that activated after the crash. No ordinary person could bypass such sophisticated systems. Tyson quickly realized that retrieving the device without Lyra's help would be a death sentence. But helping her escape? That was equally perilous. The hours crawled by as Tyson developed a plan. Drawing upon his knowledge of the prison's security systems and Lyra's expertise in energy manipulation, they formulated a daring escape. Lyra guided him through a method to disrupt the cage's electronic locks, while Tyson used a compact device to disable the surveillance system temporarily. Together, they evaded the patrolling guards, the labyrinthine corridors cloaked in an eerie quiet. Emerging into the cold night air, the pair navigated the perimeter of the prison, narrowly avoiding detection by automated drones. Lyra erected an energy shield to protect them as they sprinted into the vast desert. Their destination loomed in the distance, the mangled remains of Lyra's ship half buried in sand and surrounded by an ominous glow. The ship's defenses activated as they approached. Lethal energy beams rained down, forcing Tyson to dive for cover. Lyra, though visibly exhausted, manipulated the energy fields, temporarily disabling the automated turrets. As they ventured deeper into the wreckage, Tyson spotted the device, a pulsating orb emitting a dangerous hum. Activating the shutdown sequence was no small feat. Tyson followed Lyra's instructions meticulously, his hands trembling as he deactivated the mechanisms. The orb dimmed and fell silent, the air around them growing still. Relief washed over them both, though exhaustion was quick to follow. "You've saved your world," Lyra murmured, her voice tinged with both gratitude and admiration. "But you've also proven something else. I underestimated you." The return to the prison wasn't an option. Tyson knew he couldn't resume his life as a guard after everything he had witnessed. Lyra, sensing his inner turmoil, made him an offer. She needed to return to her home world and rebuild, but she didn't want to leave alone. "Come with me," she said. "We've already proven we make a good team." Tyson hesitated for only a moment. His life on Earth had been mundane, confined to routine and duty. But with Lyra, he had experienced a purpose and a connection unlike anything he had known. He agreed. As the ship roared to life, Tyson and Lyra stood side by side, bathed in the soft, flickering glow of the control panel. The hum of the engines resonated through the cabin, a soothing promise of escape and new beginnings. Lyra's earlier stern demeanor had softened, her gaze lingering on Tyson longer than before. For a moment, the weight of their ordeal seemed to dissipate. Lyra reached out, her slender fingers brushing against his hand. Her touch was warm, despite the subtle, otherworldly coolness of her lavender skin. Tyson turned to her, his chest tightening at the vulnerability in her eyes. For all her strength and confidence, there was a fragility to her in this moment that made his resolve even stronger. "You've risked so much," she said quietly, "not just for me, but for your entire world. I owe you more than I can ever repay." "You don't owe me anything," Tyson replied, his voice firm yet gentle. "I didn't do this for a reward. I did it because it was the right thing to do. And because I couldn't just stand by and lose you." Lyra's lips curved into a faint smile, a rare and genuine expression that lit up her features. "You're full of surprises, Tyson Westbrook," she said, her voice laced with warmth. The moment stretched, the air between them charged with unspoken emotions. Tyson reached up, brushing a strand of her platinum hair away from her face. "And you," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, "are unlike anyone I've ever known." Their connection, forged in fire and danger, now glimmered with something deeper. Lyra leaned in, and their lips met in a kiss that was both tender and passionate. The barriers of their vastly different worlds crumbled, leaving only the undeniable bond they shared. As they pulled away, the ship's automated systems chirped, signaling readiness for takeoff. Lyra stepped back, her focus returning to the task at hand. "We should leave before they find us," she said, her tone regaining a measure of its authority. But the warmth in her eyes remained. Tyson nodded, taking his place beside her in the cockpit. The ship shuddered as it lifted off the ground, the desert sands swirling in its wake. Through the viewport, the horizon stretched endlessly, a testament to the unknown journey that lay ahead. As they broke through the atmosphere, the vastness of space unfolded before them. Stars dotted the expanse like scattered diamonds, their light both ancient and eternal. Tyson couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the sheer magnitude of it all. "Where to now?" he asked, glancing at Lyra. She looked out into the void, her expression thoughtful. "Home," she said simply. But then her gaze softened as she turned to him. "And perhaps somewhere neither of us has been before." Tyson chuckled, the sound breaking through the tension that had hung over them for so long. I guess I'd better get used to not knowing what's next. Lyra's lips quirked into a playful smile. With me, Tyson, you'll find that the unknown is the best part. Tyson leaned back in his seat, glancing out at the endless expanse of stars. The weight of everything they had endured began to lift, replaced by a strange sense of calm. He was no longer just a prison guard, bound to a routine existence. He was something else now, someone willing to embrace the vast unknown alongside Lyra. The hum of the ship's engines filled the silence between them, a rhythmic reminder of their escape and survival. Lyra's fingers danced across the control panel, her movements fluid and precise. Tyson watched her, captivated by her ease with the alien technology, her confidence in navigating a world he barely understood. "Do you ever get tired of it?" he asked after a moment. "The running, the danger, always looking over your shoulder?" Lyra didn't look up from the controls, but her expression turned thoughtful. "There's always danger," she said softly, "no matter where you are. But it's the freedom that makes it worthwhile. The chance to see things no one else has seen, to discover what's out there." She finally glanced at him, her gaze steady. "It's not about escaping danger, Tyson. It's about finding something worth risking it for." Her words settled heavily in the air, and Tyson realized she wasn't just talking about herself. She was talking about them, about the unspoken connection that had grown between them during their perilous journey. "I think I understand," he said quietly. "I've spent so long playing it safe, sticking to the rules. But now I want more." Lyra's lips curved into a faint smile, one that held both warmth and a hint of sadness. "More can be dangerous, Tyson. But if you're willing to face it, you'll find it's also where life truly begins." For a while, they sat in silence, the ship gliding smoothly through the void. Tyson studied the stars, their light piercing the darkness like beacons of hope. Beside him, Lyra adjusted the ship's trajectory, her focus unwavering. As the hours stretched on, fatigue began to weigh on them. Lyra finally leaned back in her chair, her shoulders relaxing slightly. "We'll need to stop soon," she said, her voice tinged with exhaustion. "The ship's power reserves won't last forever, and we'll need to refuel." "Where?" Tyson asked, his brow furrowing. "I didn't think space had gas stations." Lyra chuckled softly, the sound unexpectedly light. "Not quite, but there are places, small outposts, abandoned stations. They're scattered across the galaxy, if you know where to look." Tyson nodded, trusting her expertise. "Then lead the way." Lyra glanced at him, her gaze lingering. "You're adapting quickly," she said, a hint of admiration in her tone. He shrugged, a faint smile playing on his lips. "I guess I have a good teacher." Their eyes met, and for a moment, the vastness of space seemed to shrink around them. In that shared gaze, Tyson felt a sense of belonging he hadn't experienced in years. It was as if, against all odds, he had found his place, not just among the stars, but beside Lyra. The ship continued its journey, the stars outside shifting subtly as they veered toward their next destination. Tyson leaned back, his thoughts drifting as the gentle hum of the engines lulled him into a light doze. When he awoke, Lyra was still at the controls, her expression focused and serene. The sight of her, bathed in the soft glow of the instrument panel, stirred something deep within him. He sat up, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. "How much longer?" he asked, his voice husky from sleep. "Not long," Lyra replied without turning. "There's an old station nearby. It's been abandoned for years, but it should have what we need." Tyson nodded, stretching his arms. "Good. I could use a break." Lyra glanced at him, her lips curving into a small smile. "You're handling this better than I expected. I guess I'm full of surprises," Tyson said, his tone teasing. Lyra's smile widened, and for the first time, Tyson saw a flicker of genuine warmth in her eyes. "That you are," she said softly. As the station came into view, its dark silhouette looming against the backdrop of stars, Tyson felt a sense of anticipation build within him. Their journey was far from over, but for the first time in his life, he felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, so long as Lyra was by his side.